Kia ora everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I have a requested video. I mentioned in my last haul that I have a hospital or to go bag. This is a bag that is ready to go if I happen to trip over and fall, which is something I have done many times, and I need to be taken in an ambulance and go to the hospital. It is a bag with just a few essentials in there, including some colouring to help tide me over while I'm either waiting in the emergency department for many, many hours, or even if I end up having to stay a couple of days, just to make sure that I've got everything that I need to just tide me over for a couple of days. So let's pull up the bag and let's get into this. So the bag itself that everything lives in, I'll show you this first so I can put things away as we go into it. It's just a reusable shopping bag. It's just a sturdy canvas shopping bag. I like it because it has a cute cat on it, and that's the whole reason I grabbed it. I used to use it for shopping, so you can see it's got a couple of loose threads and stuff like that. Whoops, that's me hitting my camera with the scissors. Um, it's not like the fanciest of bags, but honestly, it does the job. Now, this usually hangs up on a hook behind my door in the art room when I was at my old apartment. This actually just used to live on the floor, so it's nice to have a place to put this now that's a bit more proper. But yes, this just lives on the back of my art room door, so it is ready, and I just can communicate to whoever is the ambulance staff that is picking me up that I just have to get my trolley and this bag, and they don't have to worry about anything else. So it makes everything a bit easier in what can be quite a potentially difficult time. Just keep this on my lap so I can put things away. Now, the first thing that lives in here, I'm not going to show you the actual thing. I have a fake version that I have created for you, though, which is this here. So, this is fake. This is not my actual because my actual has a lot of personal details on it. This is an information sheet. Now, this information is my essential medical information. It is also the same information that lives on my phone within my emergency contact section. So, for example, at the end of 2022, I was in a car accident. I went into a dissociative panic attack due to this car accident. No one else was involved. I walked away with some PTSD, but nothing but scratches. The car was a total write off. But because I knew I was moving into a panic attack, I couldn't communicate to the person who stopped to assist me. But I could communicate cell phone. So they knew, they took from there, I needed to get my cell phone. So they got my cell phone for me out of the car. And then I had enough sense to pull up this information and hand it over to them. And then they had my full name, my medical history, and there is a note in there about panic attacks and how I'm prone to them. So this immediately let her know I was having a panic attack. And so she knew what to do to look after me. Luckily, she was trained in it. So, this is why I think it's very important to have stuff like this because if you're going through a rough time, it can be hard to communicate some of this stuff. So, for me, my little information sheet has my full name. This is not my full name. Obviously, my middle name is not middle name. It has my date of birth with the year, not XX. I was not born on XX. And then in New Zealand, we have a thing called an NHI. This is a National Health Identifier. It is a unique number assigned to you and your medical records. I work in medical, so I happen to know my NHI. So I have mine on there. It is another way of them identifying me. It's another identifier and it's a unique identifier. So for me in New Zealand, this is quite a useful thing to put on there. You may have a unique number or unique code in your medical system that you know of. Yeah, again, if you're making up something like this, tailor it to you and your needs and what you need. This is just what suits me. And then I also put my pronouns on there because it's I've got the room and I think it's good to have the pronouns on there so they know how to refer to me. So the first section here is you will see allergies. So the first line I put my specific allergy. So I am allergic to penicillin, kiwi fruit and pineapple, all of which cause my throat to swell and breathing issues. So penicillin, kiwi fruit and pineapple is an absolute no-go. But then I also happen to mention a couple of intolerances. I'm intolerant to lactose, gluten, and I am meant to follow a low FODMAP diet in order to avoid tummy issues. And I have a note on it that I am intolerant. So it's not an allergy, but it's just something that makes me uncomfortable. If it's a matter of life or death, give me the dairy. But, you know, if they can avoid it, it's good. And it's just the sort of thing that's handy to have on there. Then I have my list of medications. Now, my actual list of medications is significantly longer, and these are not my medications, as you can tell by brain vitamin, brain no whirly, sleepy time, bye-bye pain, vitamin yes, an injection of freedom. So I have listed their strength, aka their milligrams. This is all information taken from the medication itself, as well as how often I take them. So nightly, as needed. PRN is another name for as needed. If it's in the morning, 1 per 10 days. So this means that when they ask me my list of medications, it is a significant list. And this is the sort of thing I can just hand over to the team and they can photocopy it and insert it into my records, or they can transpose what I have written. I also have a little section of medical history. I just usually keep the highlights on here, so I've made up a couple: wheelie brain, ouchies, and inflammation hell. So I do mention ankylosing spondylitis, which is my autoimmune inflammatory arthritic condition, and why I usually end up needing to go to hospital with a fall. I have things regarding my mental health. I have a few things on there that I mention that it's just on there so they are aware that this is in my past history. Now, the really, really important thing to put on here, and I very much encourage you if you are going to set this up for yourself, is to put a last updated. Obviously, the 75th of July, 8084 is a fake date. But right when you wrote this list, the day you write it, put that date, because not vitamins, but medications change, right? So something may happen, you go into hospital, you pull this out, and then you'll see, oh, I did this 6 months ago. Okay, in the last 6 months, I've added in this medication. It lets them know how accurate it is. But on the other hand, if you are someone like me who, when their medication changes, I immediately go and rewrite out the list and then update the last updated, then I can say with some accuracy, yes, this has not changed because I update that as soon as my medication changes. You can tell by the date it was updated 2 weeks ago. So do put when you last updated it on here just for an accuracy. Other things that you could include. So on the back side of mine, I also have listed my emergency contacts with their numbers. So I am planning that I would have my cell phone here. But maybe the cell phone's dead. Maybe I don't have the cell phone. Maybe I can't communicate things. So this not only gives people to call, but also if my cell phone dies, then I have my contact number for my mum and I can borrow the hospital phone and give my mum a call and go, hey mum, I'm in hospital. Because I don't remember my mum's cell phone number. I barely remember my cell phone number. I don't know anyone's numbers. So emergency contacts. I also have my GP, my general practitioner's name and the practice details. I just have that written on there to ensure that all my records are also going to my GP because she is my central point for all my specialists. Other things that I thought of that you might want to put on there is your work number. If you need to contact your work and say, hey, I'm not coming in because I'm in ED. I know some countries have insurance info, so maybe you need to put your insurance info in there. There are other things that might be more appropriate to your situation that you might want to have on there, but that's one of the things that I have in my bag. It's just a little information sheet. The idea being I can just pull this out, hand it over, and be like, boom, there's my information, photocopy it, keep it, do what you want. I do plan on I hand write mine because I don't own a printer. If I owned a printer, I would have it typed up and then just adjust it as needed. But I don't have a printer, so I just hand write mine. So yeah, as I said, this is a fake version of it, not the real version. Right. Then I have some personal care items, things to make life a bit easier in there. So the very first thing I have is a cell phone charger. Because my cell phone battery is terrible, but also if my cell phone goes, I lose how to communicate with people. So yeah, I just have, this is a spare charging cord and this is just a USB plug. Very easy in our hospitals. Most of the beds in ED have a plug nearby and everyone charges their phone while waiting in ED, like even the nurses and doctors. So yeah, just a charging cord and a dock for it. I am thinking about possibly getting a second one in case I need to charge two devices, but the idea is here to have the basics to get me through a couple of hours in ED, because my cell phone will not last a couple of hours on battery. It's pretty terrible. Secondary to that, I also have, they usually live in a little bag, a pair of headphones. These are just earbuds. I don't have fancy AirPods or anything like that. These are just your bog standard plug in and listen to music, because it's anxious in ED and this listening to music helps me look after myself. I have a couple of items just in case I have to stay in a bit longer. So, I should have given this a clean. I have a hairbrush, but most importantly, it has a couple of hair ties because I am someone who hates to have my hair down sometimes. Sometimes I need my hair down because I can't stand a hair tie, and then sometimes I need my hair in a hair tie because I can't stand my hair down. So I have a couple of hair ties wrapped around the hairbrush as well, so that I can put my hair up and get it out of the way, but also have a brush on hand to brush my hair. Speaking of brushing, brand new toothbrush and toothpaste. Now, I know my local hospital will actually give you a toothbrush and toothpaste if you're admitted with nothing on you and you cannot access your own things. But I am the type of person that gets very awkward to ask. So I would rather have a toothbrush and toothpaste on me. Now I don't have it on me because I actually had to steal it today because I've run out. So when I go and buy replacements tomorrow, one will go back in the bag, but I also have a shaving razor that I keep in the bag. That is because I am someone with, I think it's called hirsutism. It's where you get facial hair growth, and I am not someone who feels the need to shave, but I do like to keep my face hair free because I find it very, very itchy as it's getting longer. So I keep a razor blade in there just to shave my face if need be. It's not the ideal way to remove the hair, but it's the easiest way and it's portable. So yeah, little personal care item for me. I also keep some moisturizing cream. I need to swap this one out to something that is, this one has like urea and stuff in it. I just need to switch it out for a standard moisturizing lotion, but this one's almost empty. Probably got enough left in there that would be a good little amount to add in or something. But yeah, I like CeraVe. It doesn't irritate my skin. And so right now this one's living in here, but I will try to buy a little bottle of this one, which is just your standard moisturizing lotion, and keep that in the bag. I don't have face wash, I don't have body wash or anything like that. I just make sure I have moisturizer because I have extremely dry skin. And again, I get very uncomfortable and itchy if my skin is dry. Then the final personal item is I just have a little bit of body spray. This is a very cheap one, but it's sugar and marshmallow vanilla candy flavored. It just smells really yummy, and it's just one of those, like, I'm gonna spray a couple of spritz now. You just put a couple of spritz on you and you just suddenly feel better. You just feel nicer. Hospital sucks. Make yourself feel better. And then the final sort of random care item I have in there is another reusable bag. I have a bunch of these. So cute, it's just a little strawberry. But just in case you end up with extra bits and you need to keep it all together,
I have a bag in a bag. Pretty much every bag I own has another bag in it. And then now we get onto the colouring stuff. Because colouring is my self-care mental wellness activity, but also how I keep myself calm in anxious times, it's really important for me to have a colouring book on me. And so I actually keep 2 colouring items in this bag to colour. The first I've talked about before, Small Victories by Joanna Basford. Because this is such a small book, it's the perfect travel size book and it fits really, really nicely into the bag. You can see I've done a couple of pages in there, which I did during a hospital appointment actually. But I generally don't colour in here unless I'm going to the hospital. So this is the one that lives in there, ready to go if need be. And then the other thing that I've just put in there recently is I've actually put in Millie Mariotta's Tropical Wonderland postcard set. Because again, I thought, well, this is actually quite a good mindless little one again. It's just patterns. But also the added bonus of that is because it comes in this wonderful little box, this also works as a hard surface to colour on, both for the postcards themselves, but also this book if need be. It gives you a good firm surface. So yeah, that's my 2 colouring books. I know this is a postcard set. But yeah, these are the things that I have on me to colour. I also thought it would be quite cute that if I colour this and, you know, you get some lovely nurses up there and doctors, and if they like it, it's like, well, here you go, have a postcard. Thank you for looking after me. So those are the 2 colouring books, and then we'll talk about supplies. So, of course, we need some pencils. And I have this set of Staedtler 36 pencils. I'm not a huge fan of these pencils. I believe Joanna actually recommends these pencils, or has in the past recommended these pencils. I just find they don't have enough pigment for me. They're very firm, they're very hard leads, and the pigment payoff just isn't worth it, and I don't like burnishing. It does come in a really nice array of colours. And my hair is always trapped everywhere. But yeah, I have tried using these pencils before. You can see my little swatch chart in there. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just not my favourite pencils to use. However, they are a really nice size to go in this portable travel kit. So that's why I've held on to them, because they just happen to be a really good size. And once again as well, we have another firm surface to work on if need be. And this metal lid can also double up as a palette, because the other tools I have in here are a set of Caran d'Ache fan colour. I was gifted these for a very lovely friend of mine, and these are actually water soluble pencils. And again, I don't gravitate towards these ones. I prefer my Koh-i-Noors or my Albert Duras. However, it's a lovely little set and it comes in a good tin again. So I was like, you know what, let's add those to the sets as well, because again, it's about the same size. So these metal lids, both the one of the 12 pack, but also the 36 set, being a metal tin lid, will also work as a palette for playing with water soluble mediums if I so choose to. Then, because I had these pencils, I threw them in there as well. Because they're pencils that I don't generally gravitate towards, but I was like, well, they might as well live in here, because they are neat pencils, but I just don't grab them. And that's my Faber-Castell Classic Colour Pastel set and my Jazz Art Metallic set. So just because I have them, I was like, you know what, we'll chuck them in there. And then the other drawing mediums I have is 2 sets of fine liners. This is put in mostly because of Millie's postcard set. Millie's postcards will be much easier to do in fine liners. And so we've got a good range of colours. We've got lovely bright colours in this one. And then this one is a pastel set. It also comes with 2 blacks, which is quite neat. And yeah, so I keep them in this box at the moment, but I may move them into the pencil case. I'm so sorry I keep bumping the camera as well. So I also have a little pencil case, a beautiful shiny pencil case. I've got a bunch of these pencil cases. They were technically makeup pouches, but I found them on clearance for 50 cents, and I was like, your work is a pencil case. So because we've got water-soluble items in the water-soluble pencils, but also the fine liners are technically water-soluble as well, we need some brushes. So I have a free set of water brushes here. I keep them in the container for this video, but of course, like, they're not going to live in that. So this comes in 3 sizes. We've got a 5mm, 4mm, and 3mm. We have the option of filling these up with water, or I can just use them by dipping into water. Now you might be thinking, you're not going to have something to dip into in hospital for water. Medicine cups. They make excellent, excellent painting cups. I can tell you this from experience. So yeah, I used to, when I was in hospital, I spent like a month and a half in hospital, and I used to keep every single medicine cup. And at one point I had 2 stacks this tall stacked up of these medicine cups, and then the cleaner came along and chucked them all out while I was at an MRI, and I was so gutted because all the nurses were having so much fun seeing my towers. And I was using them as painting cups, so they were like, yeah, no, we're not chucking these out, that's Amy's tower. And then a cleaner chucked them out. It's so sad. You find really silly things to entertain you in hospital. So also in this pencil case I have a lip balm, I have a pencil sharpener because we need a way to sharpen our pencils, and this one also has a really nice big container, so that's why I like to put that one in there. I have 2 erasers, a firmer one and a softer one. These have all been pulled from my existing supplies, by the way. I didn't go out and purchase anything specifically for this except for the toothbrush, the toothpaste, and the spare charging item. Everything else I've pulled from my existing supplies. I also have an HB pencil. Not an HB pencil, this is a 2H, but just a graphite pencil, because sometimes it's fun to add elements to a page or sketch onto the page, especially in Joanna's book. So we've got a standard pencil in there. Because we've got a pencil in there, I also have, I know this looks white, but this is actually a black gel pen, like a fine liner type gel pen. Just a really fine black pen. Very, very cheap, but does the job. And then as well as the black, I also have white. So I have this one which occasionally works. It's pretty much dead. And this one I did buy recently because I realized this one was dead and it needed a replacement. So yeah, I did buy this one, but that was because it's a replacement for this one. You can see how yellowed it is. It's very old, and occasionally I'll get a little bit more ink out of it, but she's pretty much gone. So it just lives in there because I'm like, if I can get a bit more, I'll use it. But I've got a new one. And then in my haul, I also brought another set of these metallic gel pens. They are from Whitcoulls, which is a stationery store here in New Zealand. They operate very similar to the, I didn't say what these were, the Uniball Signo gel pen. And these feel very similar, even though they're a different product. And I love using these. So I've almost entirely used up the gold. So I brought a new set, which is in my everyday pencil case. And the used set is now living in my hospital bag so that I can also have some metallic gel pens. Now, I know these metallic pencils, but the metallic pencils are barely metallic. These are like uber metallic. And then the last thing that lives in the pencil case is just some post-it notes, so I can mark the page I'm working on. Yeah, that's everything that's in the pencil case, and that's everything that's in my hospital bag or to-go bag. So just a really handy little bag for a really terrible situation. I am the type of person that, with my anxiety, when things go out of control, I look for what I can control. So I can't control when I'm going to fall. I can't control how badly I'm going to fall, but I can control being prepared for a fall and having a kit that will keep me calm, keep me entertained, and if I end up in hospital for 5 days, I'm covered. Like, the hospital provides you food, the hospital does provide showering stuff, the hospital provides gowns, and it provides medication. And so I don't need to bring any of that up there. What the hospital does not provide is colouring items and perfume and just things to make me more comfy. Possibly they have phone chargers, but with how my phone dies all the time, probably not for me to permanently use 24/7. So yeah, you can see it's all fits in here. Kind of just shove it all in. All fits in there. There's actually room for more in there. But yeah, all fits in there. It just lives on the back of my door, ready to go. So let me know down below, are you the type of person that thinks you would have a to-go bag? Not necessarily just for like a hospital trip, but also those times when you've just got to run out the door. Doesn't need to be at this extent, you know. Do you have like a little bag that's just got a couple of basic essentials so that you can just colour on the go and you can just pick it up and go? Or is this something that you think about creating? I'd be really curious to know down below, and let me know if this video has helped you. Really appreciate you all for watching. Thank you so much. Much aroha to you all. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!